Golden Geeks.
Morning, sunshine.
Golden Geeks.
Over there. Hey, you got a tan.
A little bit, you know.
Yeah, you.
Hold on. How were your travels?
It's been a wild one. So while we were down there, I had my parents with me because my uncle has pancreatic cancer. So they were like, "Hey, we'd like to take a trip to him, but we're afraid to kind of take that trip on our own," and blah blah blah. I was like, "Fuck it, jump in. We'll go with it. We'll do it." So, yeah, that's what we've been up to. It's been a wild couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What brought you back down to Hawaii?
The holidays. We always spend
Okay.
the holidays here. This is our annual tradition.
Okay.
Where I think, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 years, we've always come out here. Even the COVID year, what was it? That had been 2020. Like Hawaii, it was crazy when we would come out here. I remember for like 2 years coming out here post-COVID. What we had to do was we had to go to Logan Airport 24 hours before our flight, get COVID tested there to be cleared for our flight, and they would send it out. And it was like this weird thing where you had to go there between 24 and 48 hours before your flight. Otherwise, your things wouldn't come back. Then you would get to Hawaii. And then when you got to the airport in Boston, they gave you like an old school wristband, like you were at a carnival, right?
Okay.
You got that when you got on the plane. And when you landed in Hawaii, what would happen is you'd walk in and you'd show your wristband to security.
Okay.
And they'd wave you through. That means you were pre-checked. If not, you had to go to this whole other area that it was like something out of like when you watch like a World War II movie and you would see like internment camps, like just rows of tables with people lined up showing their paperwork to show that you were authorized to come to Hawaii.
God, well, and that was, you're saying, height of COVID. That was right, that second year,
That was like
right?
2020 through
21?
2022. So it was a couple
wow.
years.
Yeah, that's wild. Well,
I
hey,
remember
listen,
it wasn't that long ago where we still had to show like our vaccination cards to go to restaurants here and all that stuff.
it's so funny. Like, I think it's an inconvenience to have to take off my shoes to go to the airport. Like, I'm such a bitch at the airport.
No, look, I knew we were going to travel, and I know we always love Jamie's stories, but I got to tell you, like, I swear, airports at the holidays, it's like the biggest collection of people who I clearly think like don't leave their houses and don't know how to function in normal society.
Yeah.
Let's put them all into a closed-in space with lots of rules and schedules.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's like airports are just, it's like a no man's land of rules and everything. I love there's one joke out there that always says, an airport's the only place where time doesn't exist. So if you decide you want to have like a burger and fries at 8 a.m. with a beer, totally legal in an airport. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, nothing.
Absolutely,
no problem.
absolutely okay.
Yeah. So speaking of the holidays, how'd the
Yes.
holidays go? What kind of went down over there?
So now, again, did you spend holidays with family, with extended family members?
Yeah, well, the funny part is we spent that whole week before. So by the time Christmas came around, we don't want to do anything and spend any time with anybody. So we placed my parents' home, we placed her mom where she needs to be, and then we went and just spent the last 3 days of that holiday week basically hibernating. But yes, we were with family most of that time. And the majority of the time when we do Christmas, we do it with family like that. So
Yeah. I mean, again, this is my favorite time of year is like from October 15th to January, like 5th. Like it goes Halloween, my birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and then you're into, the dark days of winter. So in general, I love this time of year. And our tradition is we always spend Christmas together with my family. We come to Hawaii. My parents live here. As you can see, I'm in what I like to call my remote studio. This is actually the sports and game room at the house. So
those are tennis rackets. I was trying to figure out what they were.
Those are tennis rackets, antique golf clubs. And actually, you can see above it. I'll grab it at some point. That's actually a specialty made. My father has a group of guys that all come over and play pool in their various billiard rooms. That's the championship belt I hang on the wall that I had made.
They have a championship belt for them?
Yeah. I had that made years ago by Wildcat Belts, who made all the old chaotic belts. He did me a favor one year and made me one for my father and his crew.
It's freaking
So that
awesome.
hangs on the wall now. And we've like all this, like, it's all like New England sports memorabilia in here. I got like, I can see Larry Bird's jersey over here from when I was a ball boy for the Celtics. So all kinds of silly stuff. But my point was, so we come out here and look, my parents' house is not small. I don't want to, I tell enough stories. My parents' house is not small, but I will say that when you get a combination of my parents in their 70s, early 80s, Cheryl and I in our 50s, and now throw in our daughter in her 20s, and put us all under one roof for close to 3 weeks.
That's rough.
Yeah. And again, as a family, we're very close and we get along very well. But again, I don't know if you experience this. For me, I think it's gotten more awkward as I don't even blame my parents. I blame me and Cheryl. Because as we get older, we're starting, I know you're about 10 years younger than I am, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So, but I notice as we get older, we're starting to become the age that we used to complain about when we were my daughter's age. Now add in again, I am so fortunate. I'm in my 50s. I still have both my parents, which is amazing. They are both in, knock on wood, good health.
Yep.
It's amazing. But put us all under one roof for 3 weeks and the cracks start to show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little. Like,
so your daughter, before you move on, your daughter is the topic of a couple of comments. So whenever we talk about fan comments,
yes,
she actually spawned the most comments we've got on any of our TikTok shorts or any of our shorts. Because
she has something we call followers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the thing was the Rapture comment.
Yes. Okay.
That on YouTube, just people very much so. I must have tagged it with a Christian tag or something of that nature, but a lot of people had some stuff to say. So we're going to talk about her.
Yeah. Okay. So
go right ahead. Let's talk.
What did they have to say?
So it's Christmas. Let's take a look at the. So we had a couple of things. Amazing. First and foremost, Sketchman19 would like to ask the question, and I think you're going to have to be the executive here. You got to be the expert here. Doesn't the Bible tell us that no one will know ahead of time when it will happen? That's the first question, and I did not know the answer to that. So how does your daughter think that there was going to be a rapture if the Bible says no? Like, right? Like that's what we got first.
What's our follower's name?
And 1981 seems like an excellent judge of,
because clearly Sketchman 1981. Jesus didn't have TikTok.
That's true. That's true. That's all right. All right. Secondly, we had somebody that was just basically laughing about what's quote unquote religious psychosis. That was Astifucks 5787. And then finally, Jeremy Brown. So Jeremy Brown had the biggest one, and I responded and said, I feel like this requires a bigger response than I'm willing to give. But the statement was, Judgment Day is coming. What a shame. Nothing but the truth. Amen, brother. Amen. And he did a couple of these emojis. I don't know whether that's a thing. And then thank you for the wise words. So Jamie, thank you for the wise words.
Who had the wise words? Was it me or my daughter who was
think it was one of you
on TikTok?
Somebody had wise words. This is lengthy. Are you waiting for the Lord Jesus to return? The rapture is coming. Definitely. I grew up evangelical and I never questioned the pre-rapture study. And now I know where it comes from. I was surprised to find out around here the skullful reverend. I don't know what this person's talking about, Jamie.
No idea.
1909, Mr. Schofield. He's talking about
the Schofield. Isn't that the heat scale for hot peppers?
That's what I thought. Yeah. So maybe the rapture comes with you know what? I bet you I know how the rapture starts. You go on hot ones.
Yeah. Yep. That's probably it.
It's hot ones.
That's probably it.
This guy knows Jeremy Brown.
Jenna Ortega and the cast of Stranger Things are to blame for the rapture because they went on Hot Wings.
Okay, but yeah,
that's again. You might not know this about me. I was actually raised Roman Catholic.
Okay,
but like anything else in my life, I think if you were to ask my family or ask a lot of my friends now, if you ever have if you can go on a team like a team-based game show, and you have to put together a trivia team, or if you're going for pub trivia, if I'm not your first call, you're stupid, because my brain is so full of useless information.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm like a weird savant at trivia. So, um, my point is when it comes to religion, raised Roman Catholic, but everything I know, everything I have in this brain, it's like a
Mhm.
passing knowledge of everything.
Okay.
It's like I can give you fun tidbits. I can talk very surface level on a million topics, but a lot of them, if you try to dig deep on me, you're going to get well, I don't know. And when we talk religion, yeah, we're starting to cross that line with some of the comments we're getting. Like, yeah, dude, I don't remember. Like, I can honestly tell you, a lot of the things that a lot of the ways I can quote any facts about the Rapture are
Okay.
from the Kingdom Come comic book. Because if you remember, Mark Waid phrases it like it's like, and the heavens opened and the horsemen, and that's okay. That's when the villains break out of the prison, and then Captain Marvel comes down, and the seven thunders shouted from the heavens. It's like that's the only way I can quote anything about the Rapture. It's from a comic book.
Oh, well, that's fair.
So,
I mean,
so
I
when we,
can't.
so when
You're ahead
yeah.
of me.
So
You're
we get
ahead of
into
me. I got nothing.
but that's like everything for me. It's like, yeah, okay, like I'll get random trivia about certain topics. I'll know them. And then somebody will be like, "Oh, well, remember blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, no, those three facts. That's all I got." Like
You're just it. You're there. You're
I can
done.
talk,
Top of the knowledge.
famous biologist for 1600. After that, I'm out. I don't know what they did. I don't know why they did, but I just happen to know that they did.
Uh, so it does sound
that's
like
the other thing. Hold on, wait.
okay.
I got to spin off for 1 second because
Yeah.
we talk about being under the same roof as my parents, and and I talk about game shows. And now that I live in LA, I think I have a new goal in 2026 is I want to start auditioning for some of these game shows.
Okay.
But you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to aim lower. Do you watch any of the Game Show Network original game shows?
No, you're talking
Oh,
about like the old game shows, right? But they're
no. They produce their own now.
okay.
And these are things like my favorite one, which I don't think is on anymore. It's called People Puzzler, and it's based on the People magazine crossword puzzle. Which, for those of you who follow crossword puzzles, this ain't the New York Times by any stretch. Um, and then there's another one. It's called The Chase.
Okay.
I swear, like
You're
I
pretty
think
sure
what
you could win
happens
that.
is I think what they do on Game Show Network is they go to the studio lines at things like Jeopardy,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who get turned away, Game Show Network grabs them. It's like, okay, you weren't smart enough for Jeopardy. Come with us and be on the Chase. Oh my God, dude, these are some of the worst game shows you've ever seen.
But you're going to aim for them.
I figure, look, two options.
Okay.
My problem is I still can't pass the Jeopardy online test.
Okay.
That thing's impossible. And I'm convinced, okay, Jeopardy rant time. I'm convinced ever since Alex Trebek passed away and Ken Jennings took over, they've made Jeopardy 10 times harder.
Yes, there is that.
I used to rock Jeopardy.
Mhm.
Now, there are times like I'll be sitting there watching casually, whether Cheryl's with me or Cheryl, Nikki, and I'll be like, I don't understand the question. I literally don't even understand what they're looking for at times.
Okay. So you said this is about living underneath the what
So
happened with your
what
parents
I
today?
think I'm going to do is I think so. I don't think I can qualify for Jeopardy,
Okay.
but if I go for low hanging fruit on things like, okay, we've got America Says is one of the Game Show Network ones. It's
America
basically
Says.
a ripoff of Family Feud.
Oh.
25 words or less. That's where you have 25 words to give clues for. That's another good one. People Puzzler, my favorite. Here we go.
People Puzzler. I've never heard of it.
Common knowledge is one. Raid the Cage. That's an old one.
So is
Like I
this
said, The Chase.
is this stuff that you're watching now because you're in your
Yeah,
parents' home? Yeah. So
correct.
that same thing happens. Yep.
Because I find it's very weird. Like my parents watch a lot of TV, my dad especially, but at the end of the day, like they'll go into they have like a home theater room. They'll go in there, and the challenge we have is as a family, we're all together, trying to spend some family time together. And to be fair, at night, Cheryl and I tend to watch TV.
That's what you do.
But the
yep.
problem is the more people you add in, okay, if some of the shows we're watching are the same, if we're ahead of my parents, like let's take a series, Only Murders in the Building, perfect example.
Yep. Perfect example.
If we're ahead of my parents, we will rewatch an episode with them.
Yep.
No problem.
100%.
If they're ahead of us,
Nope.
well, we don't want to jump ahead 5 episodes. So that eliminates one show. Then there are certain shows that they watch that we don't. There are some we watch that they don't. So like that little pool of shows that we can watch together starts to shrink. And a lot of times what ends up is Judge Judy and game shows are like the common denominator that we can sometimes land on.
I'll give you one.
What? Yes.
So I have 2 game shows that I'm like infatuated with.
Okay.
Number 1, The Floor.
Okay.
Have you played The Floor or watched The Floor?
I've watched The Floor.
So I like, what's his name? What's the host's name?
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe. I love Rob Lowe, but
Yeah.
what I really like about The Floor is the fact that there's strategy involved from week to week. It's a every you're trying to create some friction. It seems like they do it throughout a day, I think, or 2, where they like do it over the course of a couple days. But I like that interaction between people. But there's always been a wrestling.
Yes.
For some reason, there's always a wrestling one. And I feel really smart when I watch it. So I think that's why I like The Floor. Number 1.
So wait, all right. So let me ask you a question. If I would assume, and again, I don't know any of the casting of The Floor. I would assume that they probably say to you, okay, what are 3 categories?
Yeah. I think
you're prepared to go on.
I went to start filling out the form for it.
Yeah.
And it asks you for 3 specific categories you're tough, you're good in. And then it asks you a bunch of other questions. I never finished it though, but yeah, it does
so
ask
I have
you
a question for you. What would your 3 be?
My 3 would be wrestling. More than likely, I would trim it down into a specific director, but movies.
Okay.
Like John Hughes movies, right? So that I could go right into that. Or I didn't think about what the 3rd one does. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know what the other one would be. Comic books would be a place, but there's so much room. You'd have to you would have to break it down to something really Batman comics from 80s to 90s. Batman, whatever that looked like. And that's tough. Yeah. So
no, I think you and I are on the same page. Pro wrestlers would be number 1 for me. Number 2, it would be something comic book related. Like I would probably go general comic books,
Marvel movies.
But that's the thing is I would actually try to shy away from that. I would rather go like more toward Batman or DC comics movies because I naturally know more.
Okay, gotcha.
And then my 3rd one, believe it or not, my 3rd one would probably be, if I could get it through them, my 3rd one would probably be something like I would try to get the Muppets. Because I know a lot of I'm a big fan of the Muppets too.
A lot of Muppets.
But yeah, trivia. I think both you and I would have to go. I would have to go super pop culture.
The other one, What's in the Box? That one is brand new on Netflix.
You just mentioned this to me, and I'm so excited that you sent it because, again, we're talking about this holiday where I'm still here. My daughter now has had a bunch of her friends from college fly into Hawaii because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And they're all going to the other side of the island to celebrate New Year's Eve on their own.
Okay.
Like New Year's Eve festivities and all of that. So Cheryl and I are actually going to be looking for stuff to watch.
This is a great one.
It's What's in the Box.
2 people, okay, but it's teams of 2, and I think they have like 10 or 15 teams to start.
Okay.
I think it might be 10. And whoever gets chosen, whatever first team goes up, they get it. They're usually ordering questions, which I love those. So like the ordering question would be like one of the questions they had yesterday was which happened first in this timeline, right? So one was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Like that was the first movie. Then the second, it was all about flying cars or special cars in movies, right? So which one came first, which one came last, and then you got to fill them in. And you don't just get it wrong. If you get the first one right, then you get 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. And in those turns, you get to spin a wheel. And I guess you get the option to like figure out what's in the box. You get tricks as what's in the box. And then at the end of the show, whoever is with the box wins that box. But they continue on so that you can win the giant box. There's a giant mystery box and nobody knows what's in these boxes. But
I think we have our viewing option for tonight. I'm so excited.
Well, and it's Neil Patrick Harris is the host. And we kind of shied away. I was hoping, first of all, I want to make sure your daughter survived the Rapture, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, she did.
Okay, just
did.
wanted to make sure she was still here. Yep, everybody's good.
She survived the rapture. The only problem is she was predicting the rapture. So she did a lot of shopping pre-rapture, and now she has a lot of post-rapture credit card bills due. But it's
I'm surprised, but that seems to keep happening over the course of the years.
Yeah.
People keep doing that. Secondly, under that roof over there, what's going on? There's some breakdowns happening. Little cracks in the walls?
like I said, just the more generations we have, and I'm sure you went through this. You traveled with family. You've shared that you have some family with some health issues.
Yep.
And my favorite was when you sent me, underratedly, my favorite part of the holidays were when you sent me pictures from what aquarium were you at?
We were at the Marine Aquarium in Jacksonville. Yeah. You like
and underratedly, I think, and we'll post a screenshot. I think underratedly, the text I sent you that day, those were holiday gold.
Really good.
Yeah. No, what I think one of them was, I'm glad you took the opportunity to do this.
I'm looking at that one right now.
Stuff.
If you want, talk to you later. Just let me know. That one cracked me up when I said just let me know. I went, oh man. Yeah, I sent a picture to you showing you that we were all at the aquarium, and yeah, you went on a 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you were on.
It was a fish punapalooza.
I'm sorry to hear that. Even when I told you, right, that we were having a little bit of rough times, you came back with, I'm sorry to hear that. Really made all my fish puns seem a little soulless.
I'm an awful
No, it's good.
person.
This is
I'm
what
terrible.
I love.
Terrible. What is wrong with me?
So yeah, we went to the aquarium. That was good. My favorite was when you sent me a picture of you flying a Batman Santa sleigh.
Yes.
With out of Hawaii. And you're in Hawaii. Yes. You're definitely in Hawaii. Yep. We'll be posting this on the Instagram.
You inspired me with some of the Golden Geeks artwork you've been producing. And I'm like, I need to do something. So, and there were actually, the sad part is, I think there were 4 different versions. I did 3 different versions. One was just a regular red sleigh for people who don't think I'm a complete and total loser. The other one was the bat sleigh, which most people got. And then the third one was a red sleigh with the Patriots logo for people who are fans of other teams. So I hit them up with that. But yeah.
Is that
and I think I'm gonna do something for New Year's now too.
Yeah, what's the plans for New Year's in Hawaii? Sometimes that sounds like it'd be different, right?
It's so weird for us, and I'm not a huge New Year's Eve fan. I don't know about you. Like, I can take or leave it.
I'm always asleep by the time the ball drops.
And the funny part is, it's like, I think we all have our thing. Like, we all have the things that we obsess over or we get crazy about. And this one is like, my mother is really into New Year's Eve. Okay. So she's really into it, and the rest of us really aren't. My daughter sort of is, but she kind of does her own thing now. And so my mom is really into it. And the problem is, we experienced a lot of crazy New Year's Eves when I was younger, because we've talked about my family's company. It was called Undercoverwear. It was a home lingerie party company. It was like Tupperware, where we had literally thousands of people in the US, Canada, and the United Kingdom who did these home lingerie parties, and the company did incredibly well. I think at its peak, it did close to $100 million a year.
Can I put you over a little bit? Like, you keep kind of underselling Undercoverwear a little bit when you talk about it here. And I know it's probably because it's not your business, but Undercoverwear is all of those lingerie parties that happen now that people do happen because Undercoverwear existed. That
because of my mother, specifically because of my mother.
Because of your mother. Yeah. I went through and I was like starting to learn about like what she did and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The reason why there's sex toy parties and these types of things is because your mom was kind of a bad bitch. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean? She's tough. She's crazy.
Yeah. My mother was on because of Undercover. Undercover was truly a phenomenon. My mother did the first home lingerie party ever. In 1977, my mother, both my parents, but my mother especially, was on Phil Donahue like 3 times. She was on Oprah twice.
Your mom was quite literally if you look at the types of celebrities in that time period of the 70s and 80s, she was a celebrity of that time because she wasn't afraid of sexuality, and she wasn't afraid to be like, hey, listen, I'm a woman, but still we can be who we are.
Yeah, and if we ever get the opportunity to talk to my mother, her take on feminism is amazing. She debated Gloria Steinem at one point about the basics of femininity.
Mhm.
If you were to hear my mother talk now, and she truly gets, I don't want to speak for her, but she gets truly heated up about when women will take a stance of not wanting to use their femininity, their attractiveness, blah, 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 as an advantage. And my mother's point has always been, no, no, no. I use every arrow in my quiver. She'll tell the story of how they got their very first bank loan because these stupid bankers underestimated her. And then she pivoted her approach and they got their first bank loan. Because
That's
again,
amazing.
at the end of the day, these old stodgy bankers. And
Yeah, just
my mother
underestimating a woman.
my yeah my parents have literally rolled with billionaires. Before he passed away, my parents, one of their best friends, used to own the Denver Broncos. And the funny part is, people would see my mother and they'd be like, "Oh wow, here's this crazy attractive, funny lingerie lady," and then they'd try to talk down to her.
Mm,
And man, it would be like just the howitzers would come out, and she would
that is
just
awesome.
destroy people. Yeah, so it's kind of a fun story. But yeah, like I said, Undercover was a phenomenon. At the height, I think at one point we had like 3,000 people at our annual convention. And we used to do it in Detroit or Boston. But talk about New Year's Eve. Every year the company would do a New Year's Eve incentive trip. And what that meant was, if you were one of our sales reps, which is all going to come back to me now, between February 1st and June 30th, for every $1,000 in sales you personally sell, for every $1,000 of sales you generate, you get 1 point. For every person you bring into the company, you get 5 points. When that person qualifies, you get 10 points, blah, 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 blah. And when you achieve 150 points total, you earn a trip for one to blank over New Year's. When you earn 250 points total, you earn a trip for two. And the locations we went to over New Year's, again, my old travel log reads like an episode of The Amazing Race. I've spent New Year's Eve when I was younger, in Hong Kong, Bangkok, Rome, Athens, London, Montreux, Switzerland, Paris, a couple of times in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'm missing a few. Germany, maybe I wasn't on the Germany trip.
And that
I'm missing a few. Yeah.
was because you guys were just selling like crazy.
Selling like crazy.
Yeah.
Doing $100 million a
awesome.
year.
Your
But
mom
now
is.
you're talking, so like we're in these locations with 1,200 people.
Oh, so
Like,
you
that's how
all got to go.
we all went together. So
Oh, I
now
thought it was
picture.
just yourself. Okay, yeah.
No. We've now brought 1,200 Undercoverwear agents with us on New Year's. So now
Yeah.
picture in Bangkok on New Year's Eve, we have an entire pavilion rented because you need one for 800 people.
Oh, yeah.
My parents come riding in because they are the rock stars of this thing. They come riding in on elephants, and
It's like WrestleMania 9.
and as New Year, remember, going back to my trivia, I know a certain point that I'm gone. Whatever the river is in Bangkok, I don't remember which one it is, but all of a sudden, a private fireworks show where they lit up the Undercoverwear logo on a big barge.
Oh, wow. Now you
In
guys would have
Rome,
drones. That would be
oh yeah,
amazing.
in Rome, my parents were carried in again, much like Mania. They came in on the Roman soldiers things. My mother was dressed as Cleopatra, coming in on the Roman soldier thing. My favorite one was Amsterdam. I left out Amsterdam. My favorite one was Amsterdam, where they came in. I think, where's the dog sled? I think Switzerland was the dog sled. They came in on dog sled, but Amsterdam, they came in. And I remember at midnight, we're inside and we're in a ballroom. And I think it was a smaller group. It was like 500 people. And we did at midnight, yay, confetti everywhere with the little poppers, and there's confetti, and the room is covered in confetti. And I will never forget, midnight, my parents, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, happy New Year, boom, da, 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 da. Then the waiters brought in the flaming desserts, sparklers.
Yeah.
One of the waiters slips, dessert goes down, catches the confetti, the streamers like things, it catches it. And I will tell you to this day, I believe the guy's name was Tom Williams. Don't know. Maybe it was because he was a former Marine. Reaction. He reached over, grabbed an empty champagne bucket,
Oh, wow.
and threw the water on the flames and put the fire out.
So quick.
Otherwise, I'm guaranteed Undercoverwear would have been a story of 250 people tragically die in Amsterdam in a fire, because that thing was going to go up in a tinderbox.
I was thinking of like how that sounds like that could get dangerous with fire. That's crazy.
So now, what bring this full circle? So now picture this. Now we're older. We sold Undercoverwear about a decade ago. We all kind of do our. So now picture trying to live up to those New Year's Eves.
Yeah.
Now, and keep in mind the difference was back then, we were business. So we did math. So when you achieve those goals, the sales and the recruiting goals and all that, that generated dollars for the company. We then did math. And my father's famous statement was for those trips, we didn't care so much about you earning 150 points and going to Switzerland for free. Okay. Where the company made their money was on the 10 people who worked hard-ish, right? Got 90 or 100 points, but didn't earn the trip. My father's, the way he would do the math was always the losers pay for the winners.
Huh. Okay.
So the math wasn't done based on, okay, Simon sold and recruited this. He generated this many dollars. Now we're going to base a trip off of that. No. We never could have done anything. We would have been at the, at the PAV in Lowell for our incentive trips.
Yeah.
But the way he would do the math is, and this is where my father was a genius, is it would be, okay, losers pay for the winners. It's actually funny. Like I said, I'm up in this. I'll show you something that's very funny. And I swear, I just reached next to my laptop in this little temporary studio. I actually have Undercoverwear money here. This is the old Undercoverwear currency. Again, you could earn this and you could spend this for stuff on the trips, for logoed goods in the company store. It's so funny that I happen to have these literally in front of me.
I mean, yeah, you and I have talked quite a bit, and I definitely think you undersell. Like, Undercoverwear was an amazing experience, and like your mom really did change the way a lot of things were looked at. I was very surprised when I started like looking through and realized, oh no, this is like she did some real stuff.
You can say were it not for my mother, there's no home lingerie parties, there's no home toy parties. I could argue there's no Victoria's Secret. There's another big company out there called Adore Me, that completely stole the Undercover, or I don't want to say stole,
but they
mirrored.
took the idea. Yep, mirrored
the idea. Yeah. But the other thing is you'll find, I think whether I talk about chaotic, whether I talk about Undercoverwear when the day comes when I move on from prop store, my family and I think that's something I probably do get from my mother. We're not big on looking back. Like I try to, and this is something I speak so well when I'm on microphone with you, I sound so cool and centered. Meanwhile, my therapist is driving a BMW because of how much money I've given that guy. But please, I go to my therapist every Thursday, and he's like, "Hey, I just bought myself a condo in the Maldives." I'm like, "I bet you did."
He's calling it shots at Jamie.
Casa del Jamie, yeah, Casa del Jamie Loco. Anyway, but no, I think one thing that my mother has instilled in me, and again, this speaks to her. The other thing you have to remember about that business is it was a motivational business. A company I've worked for recently, they don't do their best with employee motivation. And Undercoverwear was not about the lingerie. It was not about the money. It was about the motivation and building people. And my father's motto was always, if you build the people, they'll build the business. And the stuff my parents did, and to this day, my mother will have like Undercoverwear agents call her just for life advice. But the thing is, my mom and I especially, we're not big on looking back, good or bad. If anything, what we're guilty of is we will reflect more on stuff we regret or things we could have done better, only because we get like mad at ourselves. Like, oh, why didn't I?
Yeah, I could have done X, Y, Z.
Like when I see even now chaotic wrestling, what Chase and the gang are charging for tickets. I say to adult all the time, I'm like, God, we could have gotten $40 for front row tickets, and we never did. We never did. As versus looking back on, an Undercoverwear New Year's Eve trip. Oh wow, those were the good old days. I wish we could have. No, like we did it. It's great. We embrace what we did, but now we're on to something new. But it does cause these problems where we start this whole conversation with New Year's Eve. Is what the hell do you do now?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because the difference is also, like, you don't want to throw a party for 300 people that all of a sudden, okay, we got to pay for it all?
Yeah.
No, we don't like 300 people that much to pay to to bring him to Amsterdam.
You and Cheryl should just come into the movie room, like dressed like. Hire some people to carry you in.
Oh Jesus, yeah, great. Gonna hire 4 Samoans.
Yep, 4 Samoans
across
to
the street.
carry you into the movie room dressed as Cleopatra, and there you go.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yes, but again, even like New Year's resolutions. I'm not that big on them.
Well, because I've never done one. I mean, who is still?
And I'm also more of a like. I tend to just in general. I set like short-term goals. Like I knew what my fourth quarter goals were. I know what my first quarter goals are. And, one of them involves this podcast is okay. I know you and I, this is our 4th episode, correct?
Yep.
4th episode. We're starting to get our feet under us. We're starting to get some feedback. Now my goal is in the first quarter of 2026. Okay. How do we start building this? Where do we take this from there? You and I have talked about some other podcasts and creative ideas. First quarter is when we want to start rolling those out. My relationship with Prop Store, I'm going a little bit more limited with my schedule with them, but I've started to reach out to them to say, okay, what are we doing? And then what I'll do is, February, March, say, okay, what's kind of next? And as you said, even for you you have a big life change coming with your mother-in-law moving in with you. I'm sure you probably don't have a New Year's resolution, but in your head, you're probably saying,
I know.
Okay, in the next few months, this is what my goals are. We want to get, I don't know your mother-in-law's name. It's
Faye. We got to get Faye walking right up and down stairs. We got to do a lot of stuff. I want to get her into this house so she doesn't have to stay out in the camper.
Right. As versus, I'm going to be a better person. Stop. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not.
You're not going to start waking up at 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning. We know that. Yeah. Everybody's got a goal like that. We know that.
No, I will tell you that when I get back to my official office and Golden Geeks studio back in California, everybody can be excited. There will be some additions to the wall behind me because my daughter did go Christmas shopping for me.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Todd McFarlane Batman Year 2. Right?
So that's the harvester on the side there.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
he's really actually got the holster.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the times Batman considered using a gun. We have that one. This is I don't like the character that much, but I just thought this is Batwing version 2 from the new 52.
Funny thing about these McFarlane toys is that some of them look so kick-ass that you just want them. Like it doesn't matter what the character
that's why I got that one. Again, probably falls in the same category, Batman 1 Million.
I didn't
love care that much for the series, but it's a cool figure.
Yeah.
And then the last one, this is probably my favorite one of the 4. Actually, this one is my favorite of the 4. I really like this because I actually like that series. I like that look. But this one's kind of fun too. This is the Nightfall era Nightwing.
Oh, that's really cool. That is really cool.
And the funny part is, so my daughter goes to GameStop. We try to do limited gifts in a lot of ways. And we kind of go back. She's like, "Oh, can I get you?" So I sent her a picture. Hey, GameStop has some cool figures. And so I guess she goes there, finds those 4. And I think she went in kind of just looking for cool ones. She gets them. And I guess as she's checking out, they say, "Oh, shopping for Christmas." She said, "Yeah." And they ask her, "Oh, do you have a little brother? Is that who you're buying for?"
All right. So funny story that along the same lines.
Yep.
We get through Christmas. We're doing limited gifts. Same thing, right? I get Heroes and Friends, Jim Cornette's new book.
Yeah.
Very happy. Opened it up. She gave him, I have this over here. He sent me, I got 1 year.
That's amazing.
Jim Cornette to sign, right? So she got this, and it says Simon Gregory on there, which makes me really happy, right? But Mel said this time, she said, "You know what? He doesn't really, let's just give him the option to say whatever he wants to say."
Oh boy.
And it was just a big old fat fuck Donald Trump in the middle of the book.
That's hysterical. That is amazing.
All she did. She didn't tell him what to say. She just said, "Here, whatever you want to say. Fuck Donald J. Trump." And that was it. I was fine with him. I just thought it was very funny that
that's hysterical.
That is amazing. Yeah. So then I'm sitting there after Christmas and I'm kind of, your wife ever tell you something that she's probably going to get you and then not get it for you? But now you're like, I was really kind of excited for that, even though I shouldn't be because I'm an adult and I shouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So there is a new He-Man like castle thing
Mhm.
that was in a Kickstarter.
Okay.
And she showed it to me in like February last year. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That'll be, blah, blah. And she was like, this is going to
Yeah.
be a great Christmas present for you because you totally forget it. I never
Oh,
forgot it.
no. Oh,
I
no.
never forgot it. And
Mhm.
guess what? She did. So it's gone. But I was like, oh. And I'm
Oh.
sitting there and I'm trying not to be, I'm not trying to be like, we told each other we weren't going to do gifts, but you
Mhm.
did mention, I'm like trying to like broach the
Yeah, yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Like an adult, but
Oh.
it wasn't an adult thing. So like, yeah, no, but she was like, no, I totally forgot about that. And I apologize. And I was like, no, it's cool. But yeah, I was excited for it.
I've actually been on the other side of it. Excuse me. I've actually been on the other side of that
Okay.
where Cheryl has said, oh, this is really cool. And it didn't register with me at all. And then Christmas or her birthday rolls around. And like 3 days later, she's like, I'm like, do you know everything you should? Yeah, I was kind of surprised I didn't get XYZ. And I'm like, and I'm sure Melissa had the same moment where it's like,
Oh,
the
shit.
light shot. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, been there. Been on both sides of that.
Yeah, that was not a good one, but it's cool. It was the Fall of Grayskull, I think it is, something on the Kickstarter.
Oh.
But yeah, it was a cool little like actual castle, like in a different one. So I was excited about it,
Mhm.
but it's cool. It is what it is. But yeah, I thought that was very funny that like I'm an adult and sitting there looking at her like, "Mama, I'm in the He-Man castle you were gonna."
But again, no, I think that's one of the reasons why we started this podcast. Is one of my things is, at our age, we're nerds, and we're at a point in our life where we can afford to
Mhm.
get we can afford to get the stuff we want in general, but also we don't have to care
Yeah. Yep.
about how people look at us anymore. I literally am not the least bit embarrassed. That's some of my favorite gifts this Christmas were Batman toys.
That's it.
Straight up Batman toys that are for kids 12 plus, right? I think that's what the age is on this. Yeah, 12 plus. Not embarrassed in the least. Love it. Because the weird thing is that, as you know, I've relocated a few times in the last 4 years to California. I know there's somewhere when we're setting up for this podcast, and I love all the stuff that you have behind you, and I'm still working in my new space to get mine set up. But like I can't find my box of all my old action figures. If you came to my old office in Massachusetts, I had like sections. It was like
Yes.
the wrestling section.
Mhm.
I had the lingerie section, and then I had my autographs, and I had all my bat stuff. I can't find the box. I know it's somewhere. I know it's not lost.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
My feeling is we have a storage unit now that everything has fallen to over the last 5 years.
Mhm.
And I'm convinced if I can figure out what the darkest, deepest buried corner of that storage unit, there is a box that says Batman figures. The
You
best
think Cheryl
was
put it in the corner?
nobody puts Batman in a corner. So Dirty Dancing reference. Yay. The best part is one day. So now I get my chutzpah and I'm going to go dig through there one day. And okay, here's Undercoverwear's chaotic stuff. Oh, look, it's Ilya Markopoulos. Move him over here. So again, and I finally find one. It's a box that says Jamie action figures.
Okay.
I'm like, yes. And we were like recording the next day. I had already purchased little shelves for the corner. I was all excited. Blah, blah, now, you're in a storage unit. You're stepping over crap. Oh, I dig myself out. I'm old. Now I'm hurt. I open it up. It is a box of action figures I didn't even know I had anymore.
Just some rando box?
Randoms. Like there was like two Batman in it, but it was like a superpowers Batman and another one. There was like a Pluto from Disney. I'm like, oh, this is not what I was looking for at all. And I'm like, and my big question is like, how did this make it through 3 moves? Like, how
Yeah,
did
why
this,
didn't I get rid of this at this point?
of all the crap in this 15 by 15 cell, how did this make the cut repeatedly made the cut? Do you have a storage unit or anything like that?
We don't. No, we
Don't
have
do it.
pretty much everything.
It's where
Yeah,
possessions go to die.
So I've taken those baseball. They're the baseball
Yeah.
bat holders, and I put my pop figures in
yeah.
there.
We'll what we'll have to do is a good friend of mine, Dan Hill, he does a podcast. This is called 41 and Done. Cheap plug for Dan.
Hey, yeah, I
We'll
saw
have to
him.
get- Yeah, Dan. I love Dan and I are good friends in California. We'll have to get Dan on here but he'll have to do it from his office. He and I work at Prop Store together. He collects Funkos. And he has this
Okay.
big office. All 4 walls, or 3 of the 4 walls, are just all Funko on racks. He has all the different variations. And one day, he's the shipping manager. And obviously, I was in marketing. And the big thing at Prop Store is you got to track collectibles wherever they are. So we have barcodes. I think I've told this before. We have barcodes. So if I take one, I have to scan it to wherever I am.
Okay.
But my big thing has been marketing shouldn't scan anything because we shouldn't be trusted. So what I do is I always ask warehouse guys, hey, get me this stuff, bring it, scan it. So I was vigilant on making sure stuff was where we said it was. But every now and again, Dan and I would get into a little bit of a chirp war because something would get misplaced and it would end up in marketing, and he'd be like, we've been marketing guys, and I would obviously fire back at him equally vocally. And one day I yelled across the warehouse, I'm like, Dan, I said, if you don't back off, I said, I'm going to key into this building tonight and I'm going to randomly switch your Funkos into different boxes. And he's like, don't you effing dare. And to be clear, Dan, I said, like, I'm not going to put Rhea Ripley in the Batman box and the Batman box in Batman and Rhea Ripley box. Oh, no. I will do multiple switches. So there's no rhyme or reason to your little collection. And then, so that was one. And then another one, he and I were going back and forth another day. And I said, Dan, as God is my witness, I said, if you don't back off, I said, I'm going to key into this building and I'm going to invite a bunch of 9-year-olds over. And we're going to have the Avengers Endgame with all your Funkos. We're just going to do a schoolyard pick. Everybody pick one, line them up, and now we're going to start throwing them at each other.
Yeah, I took all of mine out of the boxes just because they fit better everywhere you want them. So
I do too. Believe it or not, I would say 90% of my figures come out of boxes and go on shelves. I understand from the collectability, but honestly, I got to imagine that the Nightwing that my daughter bought at GameStop for $19.99 probably is going to escalate in value that much, and I would rather I like to enjoy stuff. That's when we do a larger collecting episode at some point, we can get somebody in to talk about the different viewpoints. But I've always been, and I think you and I've talked about this, I've always collected stuff to enjoy. I think at my peak, I had like 21,000 comic books, and I can honestly say that I probably read 90 to 95% of them. Like, I didn't buy comics to collect them. I bought comics to read, and then I just kind of kept them rather than throwing them out. So it became a collection versus I didn't set out to collect comics. Like, I never went out there to say, what's going to be, even now, I think we told the story of when I went to Midtown Comics in New York with a friend of mine from Propster, who's like an uber comic collector. He owns original artwork. He actually loans stuff to Marvel when they do their traveling shows because of the stuff he owns. He actually lost a ton of his stuff. He lived in the Palisades. He lost like millions of dollars worth of artwork in the fire. But I remember he and I were in New York together. We went to Midtown Comics, and I was just buying cool covers because I don't collect anymore. I sold most of my collection. But much like when we're on the air for my normal place, I kind of have some of those comics in the background and I change them out for a lot of our episodes. I just buy cool comic covers that I like now, or characters that I like. And we're in there, and my coworker, he's like, why are you getting that one? That's not going to be worth anything. I'm like, I don't know. I like Harley Quinn. I like Elvira. They're on a cover together. I'm buying the cover.
Okay. So first of all, awesome. Yeah, that's one I would have picked up too.
Yep.
Recently, I picked up a cover, and it's just Disney versions of the Endgame like group. Like, it's Thanos. Awesome. Yeah, it's like Thanos as the big dog, and like he's got the gauntlet and stuff like that. And I was just happy to see, like, oh, they did a Disney type of little thing, and that's cool. Yeah, that's the way I do it too.
Yeah. So
as of right now, I don't see anything else on the docket. No. Do we have anything else to talk about?
No,
here?
I mean, besides what's in the box, anything else you're watching?
So, you know what? We're going to go full circle. Do you remember we talked about how as we get older, we start to do the things that we're annoyed with our parents with? So Mel looked at me last night. We're just sitting there minding our business. We were ready to go watch some TV. And she goes, you know what we watched yesterday that I want to watch again today, but we can't? And I said, what? And she goes, Matlock. And I just laughed because we're literally watching Matlock at night before we go to bed now, just like our old ass parents were doing when they were in their 60s.
Wait. The new Matlock?
Yes. So good.
Cheryl and we haven't seen one episode. We haven't seen the last episode yet.
I am on 2 episodes before that. So, yeah.
No, we are all so old. No, we're the same way. We love Matlock.
Matlock is so good.
We love the new Matlock.
So let's kind of walk through it. We don't have to talk about no spoilers, but the idea of this version of Matlock is Kathy Bates has infiltrated a law firm that was protecting or that was defending an opioid company.
Correct.
and she's a lawyer,
Mhm.
but it's not like the old Matt. So the old Matlock was a lawyer that would go and then he would solve the crime, right?
Right.
That's basically what she does for
Yeah.
this company, but she's also trying to figure out what crime happened in the company. So there's
Correct.
layers.
Right. So every episode, pretty much most episodes are self-contained. There's like a case in each episode
Yep.
that the law firm handles. But then there's this overriding story arc of the opioid thing and was the firm behind it and Maddie Matlock. And it actually does reference the Andy Griffith Matlock show.
Yes. Yep. The
Because
Andy Griffith
is where she got her inspiration to use the name Matlock. But it's very clever and underrated. I don't know about you, but Kathy Bates, Cheryl and I have this conversation all the time about actors who, if you ask me who are my favorite actors, I'll never name them. But then when you see them in something, you're like, I've liked
Kathy
them in
Bates.
everything. And Kathy Bates is one of them. Everything I ever see her, like I would never name her, hey, who's your favorite actor or actress? I
Okay.
would never say Kathy Bates. But boy, do I like her. Go ahead.
Perfect example. He was in Arrow. He has his own show called The Landman, I think. That guy he was in Yellowstone. That guy with the white hair.
Yes, he's on Tulsa King.
No fucking idea what his name is.
No.
One of my favorite actors of all time. If I see him, I immediately say I'm going to watch that show.
You're right. He was on Arrow. He was on Tulsa King. He was on Yellowstone. I think he was on Landman.
The other DC, the one where they go through time.
Yeah, as the same character. Oh, what was his?
Yep,
yeah,
same character.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah.
No, you're right though, and he 90% of the time plays a bad guy.
Yep, fantastic.
He plays the same a-hole on everything, but no, he's another one. Absolutely. Yep, 100%.
I'm fascinated that Kathy Bates can do as well in this as she can, just because I look at her as a movie actor, but she is really good at TV too.
Did you ever see her season of American Horror Story?
No.
Tremendous. And again, I can't watch that show very much because it's scary, but I did watch her season. Really good.
Okay.
She was in the New Orleans-based season. I forget what its tagline was, but yeah.
So we're watching Matlock. I love Matlock. Hey, if you like Suits, I will put this out there. If you like Suits, it's Suits with another layer. Actually, it is the same because it's got that same layer of I might find out him. So yeah. Wow, now that I think about it, they basically just parodied Suits.
Yeah, they ripped off.
Yeah, they ripped Suits off. Okay, well, great show though. Do it. What's in the box? And then I think we might be out at this point. I don't know anything else that I'm watching right now.
It's a weird time of year. Like I noticed that Cheryl and I were joking about this as well, is the way all of our favorite shows come in waves now. Like I feel like there are sometimes where we have like nothing to watch and we find something new. And then all of a sudden, like everything comes out. But our big thing was, watching Matlock was one. We're big on, I say it all the time, Food Network shows. So we watched like all the holiday versions. It was Holiday Beat Bobby Flay, Holiday Tournament of Champions, Holiday Baking Championship. And again, that's part of the thing of being here. We've fallen behind on a lot of those because my parents don't like those. So now, no, if it's conundrum, can you really watch a Holiday Baking Championship in mid-January? It feels awkward, but we'll probably still do it. The other one, though, the one I will throw out there is, have you heard on Apple TV of Pluribus yet?
I have. You mentioned it last time.
Did I? Okay, I wasn't sure if I did.
Yep.
It is, honestly, find some secret. I'll send you my login.
It's blowing your mind.
It just ended. The last episode just ended. And here's the other thing I hate is it just ended. And I think like the director or the creators already announced, the next season is going to be delayed a little bit because we're trying to come up. I'm like, dude, why? You're hurting my soul.
Just make me more stuff.
Really good. But yeah, everything I said about it gets better as it goes. However, if you're somebody who likes, I would say it's diametrically opposed to Matlock in some ways.
Okay.
Where in Matlock, if you're somebody who likes things happening on a show quickly, Pluribus is not for you.
It takes a long time to get there. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It is a slow burn of a show.
Okay. I don't mind a slow burn. I have to be in the mood for that, but I don't mind a slow burn.
I mean, there are times we're talking very slow burn. I think there was one episode where there was no dialogue in the last 18 minutes of an episode.
Oh, okay. I actually like that artsy shit, so I will check that out. I like when they do that kind of stuff. So wait a minute. The other show that we're watching that I am reluctantly watching at this point, and it's kind of our golden brother, the Golden Bachelor. So I don't fucking like Mech. I don't like the guy at all. I don't want to see him get married.
Okay.
And in fact, I think that he came on the whole show. Here's all you need to know about this season of The Golden Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
The guy got to the last 3 people or 2 people. And then when they were all like, hey, listen, so are we going to, like, we have to start getting a little deeper into this and so, so on and so forth. He was like, I don't really think that we're going to be asking anybody to marry anybody at the end of this thing. We're just going to have a relationship. And they're like, no, we came on this thing to get, and even the host looked at him and he's like, you know what the show is about, right? Like, that's the show. You're supposed to come on here and then you propose at the end, and that's the gimmick, right? So I don't like this guy, but it's a good show. Golden Bachelor is actually a very enjoyable watch if you like watching people if you like those kind of shows, which I know you do a little bit.
Something crazy. For every trash reality show I will watch, I've never seen 1 minute of one episode of any of the Bachelor franchise.
Golden Bachelor was the first one I ever watched. I never watched any episode until that first season of the Golden Bachelor. And not for nothing, I stumbled across it. I was just sitting on Hulu, and then like the Golden Bachelor thing came up, and it was about a dude who his wife passed away, and it had been about 8 years. And I was like, oh, this is a great story. And then they gave him a whole bunch of ladies, and that was great. And so the first season's good. The problem is, as every season of these episodes and these shows goes through, as we both know, people learn the gimmick, and then they manipulate it, and it makes it almost intolerable to watch.
Yeah.
Like on the Golden Bachelor this season, there's one broad that's clearly not there even to be a part of the relationship thing. She just is a yoga instructor, wants to make sure everybody knows that she's a yoga instructor, and that she's on Instagram, and you can find her.
Yeah.
That's it. But those are our shows. And
Nice.
I'm gonna do. We got some Arizona iced tea here. I will be honest with you. It never occurred to me why the cans look like this until Donald Trump started talking a little bit more about Arnold Palmer, and now it makes sense.
What did I miss? What did he say now?
Oh, he said Arnold Palmer was hung.
Oh, yeah.
And the long cans now make more sense to me. I forgot about it.
No,
I didn't realize that.
No, all of Arizona iced teas are in the same can.
They didn't do this on purpose for the long dong? No? Okay, well, I got you. I thought it was because of Arnold. I didn't know.
Really, that's how we're ending episode 4 with Arnold Palmer's penis size.
What is better to do?
Happy holidays.
Did you have another better happy holidays, everybody?
I have nothing. All right, I'm gonna go watch a terrible Game Show Network show.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy.